Hey everyone, it's LaDon. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come on really quickly to share with you guys a favorite recipe of mine. Now, this is a fluffy shea butter mix, and the reason I'm showing this to you guys is because it's a little different from probably what you've seen in terms of shea butter mixes out there on YouTube in the past, and I'm going to show you why it's different. I'm just going to pick up a little bit of this. And if you notice, you see how this oil here? And now maybe you can see how the butter is starting to melt down my hand. See that? All right, this is a shea butter mix that is wonderful for your skin, and it's also great for your hair, and it just melts into the skin. So I want to show you guys how I make this because it's absolutely awesome. You can use it, again, during really, really harsh winters like we're experiencing now. And then I use it on my face. You guys have been really sweet and complimenting me on my skin and stuff like that. And this is one of the things I use on my skin. So, I'll put some on in the morning. I'll put some, just on my hands. And then I'll just take the excess that's on my hands and just pat it into my skin. And that helps this 40 plus year old face to, stay, moisturized, to keep that elasticity, which, can be really challenging, again, during the winter months because it is so incredibly dry. So I'll just pat it on, I'll leave it on for a few minutes, and then I'll just blot it off with a facial tissue. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you how I make this recipe. Again, it's super easy. Anybody can do this, and you probably have most of the ingredients already in your homes, okay? So what I do is I get a metal bowl, and I'll tell you why I use a metal bowl in a moment. But if you have like a big mixer, and I made this batch this morning. I didn't record it, guys, so I'm going to talk you through the process right now. Super easy, though, okay? So I use a metal bowl, and the bowl I use is one that came with a large mixer I have. So if you have those kinds of bowls, use one of those. I use the smallest one that came in the set with my mixer, but you could use any metal bowl you have. And I add shea butter. I prefer to use yellow shea butter. You can use white if you like. I only use yellow shea butter from Ghana because I know that it is actual shea butter. Because in Ghana, the shea butter, the shea trees there actually release seeds that are both yellow and white. In other parts of Africa, that's not the case. So that yellow shea butter is actually not shea butter. It's a butter, but it's from a different tree. All right, now normally I get my shea butter in the clumps, lumps and what have you, but they didn't have that kind at the store when I went to buy this, so I got this kind. And what I did was I just got a knife and I shaved off probably 2 to 3 ounces, if you're using a measuring cup, about 2 to 3 ounces of the shea butter. And then I threw that in the metal bowl. After that, I used coconut oil. All right, so when it comes to measuring out the coconut oil, I like to use pretty much the same amount of coconut oil as I do shea butter, or a little bit less. Do what works for you, but I find that if I want it to be fluffy like this and I want it to be emollient so that it kind of melts into the skin, using equal parts or just a little bit less coconut oil than I have shea butter works absolutely perfectly. Now I put those two oil, the shea butter and the coconut oil together in the metal bowl, and then I set the metal bowl in a pot containing warm to hot water. The reason I do that is because it will allow the shea butter to begin to break down without losing the benefits and the nutrients from the shea butter. So I don't set anything on an open flame. I actually take that hot water that I have boiled and I pour it in a pot, and because I heat it up in a tea kettle, and then I pour it in a pot, and then I set the metal bowl in that warm water. I don't throw it in the microwave either, so don't do that. Try the double broiler method I just mentioned. It works great, okay? And as that's breaking down, I begin to add my other oils. I will add about a teaspoon of vitamin E. I will add 3 to 4 drops of neem oil. I will add 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I will add about a teaspoon and a half of sweet almond oil. And then there are 2 other oils I add. Safflower oil, and I do probably, for this amount, I do about half a tablespoon, and then I also do half a tablespoon of castor oil. All right. So once I have all of those oils in the bowl, by then usually the shea butter has already broken down. I mix it up really, really good, just using a spoon or whatever you have, but mixing it up really, really well. And then I remove the metal container or the metal bowl from the warm water, and I let it sit for about 20 minutes. Once I've let it sit for 20 minutes, I take it and I put it in the refrigerator. And you can leave, I left mine in the refrigerator overnight, but you can leave it in the refrigerator for probably about, an hour, because what you want to happen is for it to solidify again. So that the all of the ingredients, once mixed together, will look kind of like this again. Okay, so it'll be solid. Once it has solidified again, I will take it out and I'll sit it out and let it, begin to soften just a little bit. And then I add aloe vera juice. And I don't add a lot for like this size batch. I don't add a lot of aloe vera juice. I probably add about 1/4 of a cup, sometimes a little less than that, to the shea butter. And I kind of cut it up a little bit with a knife, and then I go in with a hand mixer and I begin to mix the shea butter until it gets fluffy like this. And with the average, hand mixer, and I didn't use my big mixer that I use for baking. I actually used a little one, a cheap one I bought from like Walgreens for $10. And I just used that for probably about 5 minutes. You want to make sure that the butter is completely whipped and that you don't have any chunks or anything like that left. You're ensuring that the aloe vera juice has been thoroughly, infused with your butters. And then you just transfer the butter from the metal bowl into a container of choice, and then you can store this. So I take the ingredients and I actually store this on my windowsill in my bathroom because it's a nice, dry, cool place. I don't put it in the refrigerator because I don't want it to harden again, okay? So yeah, I just set it there, and usually a batch like this will last I usually use it for about 3 months. My daughter and I use it, not 3 months, but 3 weeks. My daughter and I use it on a pretty regular basis. And then I just make another batch the following month. You want to, keep an eye on this. You want to keep it in a cool place because it does have the aloe vera juice in it. If you like, you can add an essential oil to give it a scent, and that will also help to preserve the product a little bit longer. So you can do that and be fine. I love to put either grapefruit essential oil in it, or I recently purchased tangerine and I love the scent of that as well. But you can also use tea tree oil or lavender, or whatever scent you like, and that will help you to preserve the product in case you've made a larger batch and you want to keep it for a longer period of time. Otherwise, last resort is just throw it in the refrigerator, and before you use it, just let it sit out and soften a little bit, get back to room temperature. It won't be fluffy, but it'll be soft enough that you can use it and apply it to your skin with no problems. I hope this video was helpful. If you guys would like to see any additional, videos, let me know in the comment section below. I'm making a list of videos to address during the 2014 year. So if there's something you'd like for me to add to the list, I would love to hear about it. All right. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.